All right. Another week, another hip hop podcast. Welcome back, guys. As always, it's your boy Mayron, and this time I'm joined by the wonderful, the illustrious, and her return.
I'm like dancing in the camera like you guys can see me. Hey guys, it's Bria. Missed you guys. I feel like I need to come up with like a cool nickname or something. I feel so dry.
We had 6 months, and neither of us came up with
Man, I
nicknames.
know. Nicknames, intro, nothing. But it's cool. It's a whole pandemic, so we have other
Yeah,
shit to worry about right now.
it's all right. It's all right. How you been feeling? How are things?
Good. I'm getting better.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I'll
good.
say. I'm getting better. How are you?
Things could be better, but that's life.
I feel you. House hunting is still driving you crazy.
House hunting's driving me crazy. Just a lot of things are driving me crazy, but we have our health, so we can't,
Right.
we can't be too down about things, especially in the middle of a global pandemic.
Man, yeah.
And
I have my health and I have my apartment, so that's all I need right now.
it's been a lot going on.
So much going on. It's
I think
overwhelming.
so. For those who need a date as to when this is being recorded, I believe it's Thursday, October 15th, 2020.
Hmm.
For reference, that's the same day that Biden and Trump both have town halls on TV at the same time, but aren't debating. If you know,
Really?
yeah, they're supposed to be a debate today,
Yeah, I
but
know, but they
they
canceled
backed
it.
out,
Well,
and then
yeah.
they decided to have town halls separately on TV at the same time.
So it's just gonna be
It's like, why not just have a
I'm
debate,
just gonna
guys?
be shading each other instead of
Yeah,
having a fucking debate. Great.
yeah. But so in the end of the world, which we are quickly approaching, a lot of music has come out,
Man.
and it's been a lot of good music, right? Like I think we've been enjoying it,
Yeah. Yeah, I've
and
definitely been like I feel like because I mean when all of this first started like in March and even like March, April, May, I still feel like people were kind of trying to like weigh it out to see if we were gonna like open back up and still have like somewhat of a summer left. So it was like a real dry spell. But I swear from like June, July to now, like I feel like every other week a new artist is like, fuck it. I'm just gonna drop it. So it's been good to have all this music to occupy me, but I'm getting through it a lot faster than I usually would because I have nothing to do now but listen to music all day for the most part, even when I'm like working and stuff like that. So I still feel like I'm in a place to where like I just every couple of days I'm like, all right, I need a new album to listen to. I haven't been like that in a minute, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I'm appreciative
it's interesting. I
of what
think
we have been
like
given.
it's interesting because it's like, yes, I do feel like that as well, but I'm also like because of the lack of ability to experience the albums. Like I can't hear it outside. I can't hear it in
Yeah.
social settings. I feel like it has changed the experience with music drastically. And a lot of music that I'd normally like a lot, I'm probably not gravitating towards because I don't have a place to listen to it in its proper context. So
Yeah.
like I'm kind of like microwaving it. I'm like, okay, let's try this out. Cool, this works. Because there's only so many things you can do when you listen to music and when you're stuck at home, right? I can listen to it while I work out. I can listen to it when I'm doing work. I can listen to it on a walk. And when I go on the occasional drive, like to visit whoever, like very rarely you listen to it, but that's kind of it,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're not going out to parties and listening to it. You're not going out to the club and listening to it. You're not like sitting outside. I mean, sometimes and listening to it. So it's limiting the venues. I can't go see concerts, which has been the hardest part of this all, right?
Man. Yeah, I mean, I feel that, but as a way to cope, I've been finding myself like creating those environments where this kind of music is necessary. Like, if anybody like follows my Twitter, I've been tweeting about like doing happy hour like basically every day, but it's like in my home, in my apartment, in my underwear. Like, yeah, like at the end of the workday, I swear by like 5, 6 o'clock, I like have my glass of wine and like I turn on like all my LED lights and shit and like turn off all the lights and I'm like playing Savage Mode and like dancing my ass off in the entire living room because like I feel like that's the way I would want to consume it.
That
You
makes sense. That
you
makes
know, when
sense.
it's like rainy and I'm a sad boy in my bed, I'm like, okay, this is like a perfect time to listen to like Tom Misha or whatever the fuck. So like I don't know, and that's been inspiring me to make more playlists because I was like, even though I'm in this one space, my like multiple personalities still take over when they do. So like I have so many different like feelings and vibes that I feel like I still have to kind of get out. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm just using the 2 rooms that I have in this fucking apartment to like create those spaces, which is interesting because you consume it completely differently. Like waking up, laying in my bed and listening to Savage Mode is completely different than 2 glasses of wine at 6 o'clock in my LED lights listening to Savage Mode. So it helps.
That's true. That's true. I think that's important to do. For me, what it's been doing is actually, it's like I've been having the opportunity to go back and listen to albums again, right?
Mm.
Because I am less inclined to just rush to whatever's new. It's been nice because like I've been able to, like, something will come out and it'll come out a month ago, and in general times, like in non-pandemic times, normal times, in theory, we'll get back to there one day. Um, like I would listen to music, listen to it for the week that it came out, and then bet what's next. All right, listen to the next thing. Now
Mm.
it's like I spend a lot more times with the albums I like, and it's been really nice to like listen to something 10 or 15 times in the
Yeah.
span of a month as opposed to listening at once, which is similar to what you're saying. It's like you can listen to Savage Mode both in the morning by yourself and in the afternoon by yourself, but completely different ways.
Right.
You want to start there? Like, let's talk about some of the albums that have come out recently, because I think that's a good way to come back. Um, let's start with Savage Mode. I have a question to pose to you.
Okay.
How do you think the conversation goes to get Morgan Freeman? Like, does he text Morgan Freeman?
Not at
Does
all.
like, like does Morgan Freeman open up a text from 21 Savage being like, "Hey, would you like to do the trailer to my album?" Like, does he call him? Like, how does this work? Does he write like does he write like a letter?
I highly doubt 21 Savage and Morgan Freeman. I mean, maybe now, but I highly doubt before this venture they had each other's contact information. I could be wrong, but if anything, I found myself asking the same thing like when they drop a little trailer or whatever, and it was like, yeah, I'm like this. I think you tagged me, and I'm like, is this fucking Morgan Freeman?
Yes, I did. I tagged you in it asking, how did this conversation go? Because I am
What?
just so curious. Like,
And I honestly just feel like it was like, yeah, 21 had his white people reach out to Morgan Freeman's white people. Because if anything, I think this nigga's in his crib with his bitches smoking his blunt. And it's like, yeah,
not Morgan Freeman, probably
no.
21 Savage.
Ah,
Or are you not sure which one?
sure. Morgan Freeman, a real nigga, I think he is. I think we're all in for some surprises. But no, 21's like sitting in his house, bad bitch on the right, bad bitch on the left, exhaling his blunt, listening to his finished product, and was like, you know who I want on this shit?
This could use some Morgan Freeman.
Like dead ass. And like 21's an interesting ass nigga, like as far as like his taste in music choice. We've seen too many videos of him singing like the most obscure R&B songs that I never thought he would know every single word to.
That is true. And he is
Every
British.
single word.
He is British, let's not forget, right? So he's already eclectic.
I'm so happy he like referenced that on the album too. But yeah, I feel like he was like, yeah, like, there's no budget now really for like a music video or like whatever the fuck else, because niggas is in the house. Niggas not touring, whatever. So I feel like he had more money to allocate to the production of the album. So I feel like would be one of the only cases, more or less, where like, yeah, we can finesse Morgan Freeman being on in like Savage Mode, because I'm
You
sure
can afford Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's true.
saying? Like,
Because
yeah.
I'm sure his voiceover is not cheap.
You know what I'm saying? And like Morgan stay booking busy, I'm sure, but I'm sure he's like looking for work and trying to find work and trying to get that next check, just like 21 is. So you're like, yeah, I'll be on this
I don't feel like
rap
just
album.
like 21 is, but
not
like
just like 21, but
I feel like Morgan Freeman is probably pretty financially secure.
that don't mean they're not trying to get more. These
That's
niggas
true.
is greedy
That's true.
as fuck.
That's
so,
true. The rich get richer.
Like, period. Like,
Yeah.
So that's what what I'm saying? Like, I need to make another check. I'm not getting my, whatever. Like, oh yeah, this little nigga want me to be on this rap album. Sure, fuck it, I'll be on this little nigga's rap album.
Oh man, what did you think of the album itself?
I actually really enjoyed it, but personally, I'm a 21 Savage like fan. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm a 21 Savage stan. I don't think I like him as a person, and I really enjoy his music because I really enjoy his personality. He's funny.
I think he's funny.
Yeah, like he's funny as shit to me. Like he is, but even the way that he raps, like,
it's hilarious.
And I love it.
Like, it's hilarious.
It is so funny. Rock the Balenciaga when I rock the Beretta.
Oh my god, it is hilarious.
Shout out to Robert Kraft. I love it, the cheddar. Like, I can listen to shit like that all day because it's funny. Like, rap doesn't have to be all like serious and murder all the fucking time, or it could be like a combination of the both. And that's why I like 21. Because he will crack a joke and they'd be like, "Nigga, I will bust your head off." What are you talking about? I'm like,
yeah, that is true.
I like it. And I like it. So I enjoyed it. Playing it back more now, it's definitely like, okay, like I definitely have my favorites, and that's maybe like 3 or 4 songs out of the 15. But when did he release Savage Mode? I feel like that was kind of a while ago.
Yeah, I think it's been a while.
Like at least I want to say 2015. I don't know, but it's been a while since. Yeah, it's been a while since I've 2016. Yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten something from 21, and I think he delivered. I think it was a pretty cool album. I would like to see. I would have liked to have seen some kind of rollout. I would like to have seen what kind of like visuals.
Just Morgan Freeman on a trailer. How much more do you want?
I want visuals. I'm a visual person. So I would love to see, like, if he would have been able to finesse this nigga being in a music video or something, even, like, I would have lost my shit. Oh my gosh.
I like the trailer a lot, though. The trailer was fairly cinematic, and the trailer, I think, brought a lot to it. I would have been happy with more things like that. That's interesting. I don't know how people are going to do, especially because, okay, so 21's album was an album at scale. And what I mean by that, it's definitely like an industry album, like it had all the industry backing. I don't know what that looks like music video wise and visual wise now, right? I think we've seen a lot of albums come out with good visuals, like Kehlani's album and stuff like that, that have visuals not at scale. So like very like small timey kind of home projects.
Like Kehlani's like Toxic thing?
Exactly, right?
Yeah,
and
okay.
that's what I mean by that. So I'm curious to see, like, in terms of the visual department, how the major label albums, like a 21's album, are going to adapt. And I don't think they've quite figured it out yet, you know?
No.
And it's difficult, right? Because I think as a major label and as a album that's on a major label that's being released by one, there are certain things that have to happen, certain standards that have to be set in order to like keep the quote unquote like credibility of a label, so they're not able to take the risks that I think we'd want to see from them. So I don't know where that goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see. Honestly, I think this is also really going to show how much of a budget these artists are kind of working with. Because I mean, you have somebody like Cardi and Megan; they didn't have no issue shooting a whole music video.
That's true. They did not have any issues.
with, with background dancers and stuff like that. But if you've seen the video, a lot of it is like CGI.
That is true.
Most of it is CGI. I mean, that's the main cheat that I've been seeing that a lot of artists have been doing is like heavy post-production.
They have to, because you can dance in front of a green screen all day and we can put whatever we want on it.
Right. And like CGI or even like animation. A lot of people have been dropping like animated videos or partially animated videos. Even like Blackish just like released like the next their poster for the next season, and it's like it's a cartoon. It's drawn.
And I feel Blackish like the show. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
And I feel like that was the easiest thing for them to do rather than get them all together.
Like 10 spin-off shows now and like
Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish
or something,
and then Oldish or something like that. They're about to drop the one with Lawrence Fishburne and
man,
Jennifer
they're really doing the ish thing, huh?
Yeah, I'm over it, but I mean, hey, get your bread, maximize. Who fucking cares? With these mediocre white people do it all the time with their mediocre shows. At least Blackish is good. At least Blackish is fucking good. But yeah, and I was like, oh, like it's cute. Like, of course, they had to like draw the whole family together because, like, yeah, who wants to pay however much $100,000 it is for like COVID insurance? I mean, I know that's one way that people have gotten around it is like COVID insurance. Everyone has to get tested. Everyone has to get vetted. You have to,
and
pay,
everyone has to be in a bubble for however long. It's expensive. So yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we haven't received 21 visuals, and I am curious to see how the major label system adapts because one thing. There's a lot of knocks against the major label system, but they have adapted, right? They figure out how to adapt because you think they'd be done after CDs or you think they'd be done after this, like after Napster, and they're still not done, surprisingly. So,
yeah,
I mean, for some way, somehow, those rich people with money will figure out how to keep their money. Actually, I wanted to talk about, in contrast to that major label stuff, Currency released an album, and Currency released, I believe it's called like Director's Cut or something. And Spitta is like, the anti-label guy. Like he's the, independent all the way, does his own thing. And I think it was one of his most solid pieces of work in a long time. He always releases solid pieces of work, but basically everything he's been releasing during the pandemic has been special. And I think it's been special because he's so used to working alone and without the resources that where all the other artists were adjusting, it was just another day at the office for him.
Yeah, I feel that.
So he's released two things, the Director's Cut and the Outrunners. And the Director's Cut, I think, is, how do I put it? It's got Larry June, Styles P, Trippie Redd, Snoop Dogg, and a couple other people on it. It's very much like this is a standard Currency album, but because of the timing of it and because of how well put together it was, it stands out amongst a lot of the other quarantine albums. Also, he's been doing a real cool thing with Director's Cut and Outrunners. Is at the same time he started like this small car action figure collection
Mm-hmm.
group that's going on, and he's been pumping that heavy, and it's been really cool to see how he's like once again thinking independently and going outside the box and starting another side business in addition to all his many other businesses, where he's literally selling collector small cars now.
Mm-hmm.
And people are buying them and people are participating, and it's just cool to see how the artists are adapting so differently. Like on the one hand, you have 21 Savage going bigger by like buying a Morgan Freeman ad,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Currency again going micro and sort of like being like, hey, look at this very tangible thing you can do during quarantine. People like to collect things. People like to look at their stuff in their house. This is the perfect time to be selling collectibles. So it's kind of cool on both sides.
And Currency's a fucking legend, man.
He
really
is. He still has our episode up on his page.
Really?
Yeah, so you can scroll down and still find it. Yeah.
Oh.
So shouts to him. And if you haven't listened to it, we have a pretty good episode on Currency and how great he is in the Evolution of series.
That was a really good episode. I think that was one of the most insightful episodes we had as far as like talking about things you may not have known about.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say
That whole
that
series is good.
Man, and I can't wait to bring it back. I actually have some ideas on that. That's one thing I've been thinking on and working on is who we can do more evolution of. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
What
Did you want
else?
to talk about Westside Gunn and who made the sunshine?
Man,
Who made the sunshine, Bria? I don't know. Answer the question.
God, I don't know. I love, man. We should have taken a moment to like pull up all the projects that they have dropped since.
Oh yeah, they have a lot,
and you know what I'm saying.
And Benny's coming tomorrow, by the way.
Like that's why I'm like, wow, like I'm.
But why don't we start? Why don't we start there? Why don't we start by talking, who made the sunshine? Because that's the most recent project.
Yes, it is. Griselda is just them niggas, bruh. Boldy James, I will say, is low-key like coming up more and more as like kind of becoming my favorite. And I think I just really, really like his voice. I like everyone's voices, but like All Praise for some reason is my fucking shit. Like, and it's really just Boldy James' part. You know who I'm tired of though? I don't need any more Keisha Plum interludes or outerludes. I don't.
Oh man, that's funny.
I don't need no more of them. Like the first couple was cute, but now every time she come on, I'm like, all right.
She's cool though.
She's cool. I got no issue with her, but I'm just like, Griselda, baby. So okay, all right. Like I don't know. As soon as she talks, I'm like, fast forward. I want more bars. Coke rap.
Nah, I got you. So I'll say this. I actually didn't like this album.
What?
Everyone else did. I was like, this is cool.
It's not my favorite from him. By far.
I think it was cool, right? I don't think it I don't know that it added anything different to what I've already heard from him.
Yeah, that I agree too. I
don't know if it's better than Pray for Paris.
It's not.
I don't know if it's better than even Fly God is an Awesome God.
This is definitely his word. Well, my least favorite from him.
Yeah, I'm not. And I'm not going to say anything about the original Fly God or Supreme Bliente because those a different time in his career. That's almost like 4 years ago and 2 years ago, respectively. But comparative to that's why I want to let you go first because I have some criticism of this album, which I know is sacrilege. Yeah. My thing is like comparatively to Pray for Paris, which was such a well executed album, had such an amazing rollout. Even the cover art itself,
everything is phenomenal. That's my favorite.
It was so well put together, and like after coming off of that. To get 2 projects from him, I feel like it's a little rushed and it's a little much. And I understand that's how they operate and that's what they do. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember anything about this album. I remember things about Pray for Paris. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I definitely feel where you're coming from. And I'm hesitant out loud because I do this in my head a lot. I'm hesitant out loud to call like albums like throwaways. I feel like throwaways is like a pretty definable thing at this point, but like I'll listen to stuff, and especially like even with Griselda now, like I was listening to this album like, okay, this is like the cute throwaway project. I just feel like they just wanted to maintain
their presence.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they're taking the fuck over. They doing that Currency shit where they dropping every other motherfucking week, and it's still quality. That's still
quality, yeah.
Right, and that's my thing with this album. Is it my favorite from Westside? Absolutely not. It's definitely the most forgettable. When I was going to say it, I think it has the least playback ability.
Least Yeah.
And like honestly, out of all the Griselda albums that I've been like presented to so far that I can remember, and that's why like damn, I should have pulled them all up so I could like have that reference. But
It's
this
like
is
looking at the track listing.
mm-hmm.
I listen to Butcher and Blade sometimes, and I listen to All Praises, which has Boldy James, Jadakiss, and a couple other people.
That's my favorite song. Yeah.
But other than that, like I'm not really running back to anything on this album, you know?
I completely feel that.
Because
I can
there's so,
completely feel
and
that.
specifically because he has so much other really good music.
That's
right?
better. That's the kill. It's
Yeah,
like he just
exactly.
so much of his other music is better, and that's why I didn't knock it. I'm like, this is cute. Like I fuck with this, and I still feel like it's on the same quality. It's just I just didn't like
Yeah, it
compilation of
never gets
songs
worse.
on. Yeah, right. Like
Yeah.
I just didn't like the compilation of songs on this album. Like
So
I enjoyed like my songs. Like I like the Bodie James, like the All Praises, but I like All Praises because I really like Bodie James' verse, and I really like just the way he like flows on that song. I just really like his song.
I like whenever they collab with new people and old people at the same time, right? Because they do a very good job of balancing people out.
They do that a lot.
And like, you know, Boldy and Jadakiss, that's a continuation of the Lox's legacy to a certain extent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Griselda in a lot of ways. And so to hear them on the same song, right? To hear Boldy and then Jadakiss, it's like you have Jada, you have Westside, and then you have Boldy all in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the continuity is really cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I haven't heard Benny's yet because Benny's comes out tonight. The best Griselda album of the year is From a King to a God by Conway the Machine. In terms of this year, right?
Yeah.
I think that has been my favorite drop. Just because like that was equivalent to Westside's Pray for Paris in the way that it was presented, in the gravitas, and the way the seriousness that they took it, and sort of the way that album fit together, and the fact that I really, really came back to it a lot, right?
Yeah.
It had a lot of replayability. Like I listened to Conway the Machine, but I've never paid attention to him as much as I have on this album. Right? I've never paid like I love Benny, I love all of them, but I listen to Benny the most. Like he gets the most rotation. This is the first time that I found myself coming back to a Conway album over and over again.
That I definitely feel like this is his most solid from him, and that's what I also think was the issue. Didn't this come out right before?
This came out September 11th, From a King to a God. So not that long ago, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but what was this the album released right before Westside? I want to say there was like a lady that dropped the album though.
Yeah, so Armani Caesar.
Yeah, and I actually didn't listen to that yet.
Armani Caesar is dope. She's the first lady of Griselda, and I liked her shit. But I've always liked her shit, and it's just like it's very solid. I don't really have a lot to offer on that album, other than the fact that it's just very solid, and it's very, very entertaining to listen to.
Not trying to compare the two albums, but comparably, like, did you like it more than As God Intended?
I haven't listened to As God Intended in a long time, so I'd have to go back and listen to As God Intended.
I really enjoyed As God Intended. There are definitely like some skippable songs on there, but like there are a good amount of songs that like I was like Worth Gold is still my favorite. 94 I still play all the time. Like there are definitely some songs in here I was like, whoa, I want more of this person. Like I didn't give Armani Caesar a chance the way I should have. I definitely plan to, but
I think you would enjoy it. I think we'll talk about her in the next episode we do.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot to say about her and the space she occupies as a woman in the game, like and how like that affects things and how there's so many different. But we'll save that.
Yeah. No, I really want to break down this female MC episode. Like I don't feel like the last episode we really did. We discussed things that were important, but I really don't feel like we did it justice. Like that's why.
It's all right. We never released that, so.
Yeah, like I want to take this one I want to approach this one much differently, and especially because like there's so much more music to discuss. So I'm
for sure.
I'm really excited for that album. Like, you gotta listen to Baby Mother's new album.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this. Let's talk about her retirement album, right?
You want to?
We have to. I mean, it's we're talking about new albums, right? We can revisit it again. But let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Baby Mother made, and she always does, kind of like a almost horrorcore rap album to a certain extent, right? Like that's the only way I can think to describe it. It's definitely something I would play at Halloween if I wanted a rap album to play at Halloween, Baby Mother's at the top of the list of rappers that I would play.
Yeah,
And this
period.
album is at the top of the list of things that I would play. She does a great job of creating that like sort of horror movie vibe, but
Mm-hmm.
still like keeping the bars up.
Yep.
And that's how I would describe this. How would you describe this?
Um, I think this, and I'm in the music itself, but also just more so relating to the skits. I think this album is like a really, really good reflection and representation of her personality. Because I feel like she can be like, yeah, like a super dark, spooky bitch a lot of the time, but she's all like, I like when she kind of combines and kind of blends all these aspects of her personality. Like, I really enjoyed the skits and like how the whole like theme is basically like her in a game show in hell. She's playing the game show with the devil in
Yeah,
hell.
Motherland. Yeah, it's kind of wild, right?
I
That's why I
love
said this
it.
shit is scary. Like,
But I love it, dog. Especially
yeah,
because she got the slow Moesha song playing in the background.
yep,
I was like, yo, is this Moesha? This is so Moesha. Like her Dear Diary shit. That shit is hilarious, dog. Like she is just such a special person. Like, and I like that she doesn't shy away from all the things that like really interest her. I like this album a lot. To me, this feels like the most like complete, full-fledged album from her, which makes sense because technically this was supposed to be like her debut album.
yeah,
Like,
Motherland,
yeah,
right? And then
yes,
so like, cause like Mother Maleficent, which I cannot pronounce, but I'm guessing that's how you
Maleficent,
pronounce Mother. How do you say it?
Maleficent.
Maleficent.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a bit shorter. It was only like 7 tracks,
Mm-hmm.
not nearly as full as this album.
Yeah, and that was just kind of like an EP, and I mean, and that's usually what she has always done for us.
Right.
It's just she's always just dropping mixtapes of songs, like honestly, whenever the fuck she feels like it, and she's actually gonna drop one by Halloween, either on or by Halloween.
So
She's already
she
said.
didn't retire, or she did?
Okay, and that's the thing. When she dropped the album, she put this long Instagram post basically saying that yeah, like she was retiring. And of course, a lot of people are like, what the fuck do you mean? How are you dropping your debut album saying that you're retiring? So she did go back and kind of clarify what she meant, and she was like, me retiring from music does not mean I'm no longer making music. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm no longer making music. I'm just not participating in this artist kind of game that everyone else is participating. I've been trying to get me to participate in as far as like drops and releases and music videos. I'm gonna just record and I'm gonna drop that shit for free when the fuck I feel like it. I'm gonna record and I'm gonna drop that shit for bread when I feel like it. Like even when she dropped this Motherland, her debut album, not on Spotify, not on Apple Music. The only way you can stream it is on Bandcamp, and that's only a few times. And afterwards, you have to buy it.
Yeah, and now it's on everything.
Yeah, now it is. Allegedly.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't initially.
It wasn't for a while. I don't remember when this came out.
It took 2 days afterwards, and then it was on Spotify. Because I remember
she took it down. It was on Spotify, took it down. Then somebody put it back up, and she took it down.
Yeah, it's up there right now.
I don't know if she wants it to be.
Yeah, I don't know if she wants it to be, but it's up there right now. But yeah, I remember listening on Bandcamp because I couldn't find it on anything. But yeah, it's been up for a while now on Spotify because I have it saved, and it's a magnificent album because one thing that Baby Mother does is she puts a lot of effort and work into her music, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can definitely hear it, and like the rhymes are always super sharp, right? She is in shape when she comes to rhyme. And so I think the value added by rapping, which isn't always necessarily high in today's rap game, is super high in Baby Mother's album.
Yeah.
Like the value that she adds with her verses are like, wow, this is the focal point. Everything else kind of falls around it.
Yeah. And I appreciate to where like, I agree 100%. And like, it comes to an extent, there's always room to get better, and she always finds ways to impress me, like with her bars. Like that's something that's never lacking. But I like how she kind of pushes herself and her artistry in other ways. It's like, all right, I got bars. Bitches know that I have bars. Like, so I feel like she kind of pushes herself in other ways as far as like how she kind of develops songs. And that's what I like a lot about this album, which I don't feel like is reflected in a lot of her mixtapes. I feel like this album kind of shows a lot more of her versatility. It's like she's an artist that I would prefer just like regular ass beats, raw beats, and her just giving me bars over again. But I appreciate when she like tries to like, add bridges and have like people singing on like hooks and choruses and stuff like that. I like that she can go from like just rapping just bars for the whole fucking song, like give me that or whatever the fuck, with like no bridge and a very short chorus. And then like Baltimore, which is actually my favorite song.
Yeah.
It's named after Mikey, rest in peace Mikey. Where like, and like, to me, I kept like when I would introduce the album to other people, I'll be like, yeah, About Time is my favorite song from her to me because I feel like it's one of her most different. Like, this is her radio song. And I feel like that was a lot of the criticism that people received. I mean, said it kind of about Baby Mother is like I don't see her being able to like move beyond like underground just because the way her music is. And I was like, no, I feel like she has the ability.
It isn't super. So yeah, she has the ability, but I will say it's not super palatable to people that don't like rap. You know, you gotta
Yeah.
like rap to like Baby Mother. There's some
Yeah.
rappers that you ain't gotta like rap to like them. You know, like you
Yeah.
don't have to like rap to like Travis Scott.
Yeah, but
You
that's,
don't.
I mean,
Like,
but I mean, Travis Scott's also like, I'm not a fucking rapper every other day. So,
yeah,
like, he's not a nigga that fucking count as that shit.
Exactly. But
Same thing with Tyler, the Creator. And I love Tyler, the Creator. Tyler's also like, I'm not a rapper, I'm an artist.
But Tyler is a rapper.
Tyler's
Like,
a fucking rapper.
Tyler be fucking rapping. Travis don't be rapping, and there's a difference. Like, and I don't hate Travis. I just just like calling a spade a spade. But anyways, my point about Baby Mother is you gotta like rap because like she be rapping, and if you don't like rap, you will not understand what you're listening to. In my opinion.
Facts. Yeah, I don't mean crossover like her become a motherfucking pop star. I'm just saying like niggas say she can't like not be an underground rapper. Like, what do you?
No, she could. I don't know what the underground rapper is anymore. Anyways, like I don't know what
facts,
that
but basically, like she's not. And I was like, if she ghost wrote for anyone else, she would make them become a pop star. Exactly. So why couldn't she do that for her fucking self? Like, what?
I think what was interesting to me is this Motherland album felt like a huge continuation of Mother's Day 3, which was always my favorite. That came out in 2018. That's the one where she's sitting with all like I guess her kids and the red stuff. And like to me, it felt like this album felt like a continuation of that album, or I guess that's the EP, not sure. And it completed something that I was looking for because after I heard Mother's Day 3, I always wanted more of that. I was like, this is what I like you best. I want more of this, and I got a lot of that on this, so I was really happy.
So like what, Nate? What are some of your favorite songs?
What are my favorite songs? Oh man, Roaches Don't Die, The Cocaine Catwalk, Demonology. Like I like the fact that she's like almost Bone Thugs and Harmony like with some of this shit.
Yes!
Like I love that shit because it's like, okay, I had a phase, I want to say, for like half a semester in high school where I was really into the Bone Thugs and Harmony, 3 6 Mafia, all that like let me get to the alternative rap,
Spooky
and this
raps.
She brings up enough of it to make me happy, right? It's not overwhelming because like sometimes people do that shit and you're just like, okay, I'm over it. I don't need to hear like every single bar about this, but she seasons it enough. She's just like, all right, we have enough spooky shit to make this shit interesting. We have enough shit that goes left where you are left thinking about what I actually think about this situation. And so that's why I like a lot of those songs, and that's why I like Mother's Day 3 so much because that's my first introduction to someone in the modern era doing that right.
I feel that.
Continuing that legacy of like that Bone Thugs and like 3 6 had in a lot of ways.
I love this bitch.
She's cool, man. She's cool. You want to talk about Reason next? Because I know you were real hype about his album, at least on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I was just hyped for TDE to motherfucking drop something, dog. Like, I'm waiting for this Isaiah Rashad album on bated breath, especially because, and at this point, it's been a motherfucking month ago.
Die. You waiting on bated breath.
Like, I'm pissed. Like, especially because, like, it was a month ago, literally, I guess by the time this episode comes out, sometime next week, it would have literally been a month since I saw Isaiah Rashad at Day in Vegas, and this nigga said his album was fucking done. He was like, I can't wait to drop it to you. So since then, I'm just like, okay.
So here's my thing about this Isaiah Rashad Wait thing before we get into this Reason album. I love Isaiah Rashad, as you know, and we love as a podcast all of his previous work. I am getting to the point where I am beginning not to care because I don't believe it's going to come, Like
really?
It gets, well, okay, look, it might, but like, how like, Jay Electronica did this, Dr. Dre did this, where they're like, oh yeah, an album's coming. And it took so long that by the time the album came, the expectations were so high, it was really hard to meet it.
That's what I think is going to happen.
And that's what I'm worried that's happening to me when I think about Isaiah Rashad, right? Because like all of us as fans, we hype it up so much because we love him and we love his music and we want him to succeed. But I feel like I'm trying to combat the expectation, the level of expectation I'm building. I'm like, let me listen to his music for what it is and not what I want it to be. And the more and more I anticipate this shit, the more and more I'm going to be like, no, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what it was supposed to be and be upset about it. Does that make sense?
I feel that. I just want music. I think that's maybe why Isaiah Rashad has become one of my favorite artists, like kind of so quickly. It's just like Isaiah Rashad, even the very beginning when I was introduced to him, I had no expectations from him or of him, and like he impressed me. And then I was like, okay, I fuck with this nigga. And then like, download Sylvia demo. Then Sun Tirade comes out, and again, wasn't expecting anything from this person, but was super impressed. So I kind of feel the same way. I don't feel like
But aren't you expecting something now because you know what he can do?
I mean, I'm expecting some fucking music, like, and I'm hoping that it's good. But like, am I expecting Sun's Tirade or expecting Sylvia Demo or expecting like him trying to upgrade on some Kendrick Lamar from Butterfly shit? Like, no, not really. I just want the fucking music.
Especially it better be if you taking fucking 5 years to do it.
I mean, and that I'm not even knocking. People's artistic process and progress is their own. So I'm not knocking it, my nigga. But if you are telling me like it's here, it's done, like you waiting for Top and the rest of these niggas to get their shit together, which I don't necessarily fully agree to an extent, but that's what the fuck you said. That's what the fuck you told me to my face. Because I was there live watching you, bitch. Like, where's the fucking music? And especially because you kicking it in JID's Instagram live, smoking a blunt, like previewing your music on this nigga shit. One of my favorite songs on the Reason Project is the one with Isaiah Rashad and JID.
And the thing is, Zay has released a couple Lucy's as well, and like those Lucy's have been great. So I'm just like, you cannot build any more hype.
You can't.
Like, you don't need to build any more hype either.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's trying to. I just think he's in that weird artist space. It's like,
I don't know if it's a weird artist space or if it's a weird management space.
It's always both, especially with TDE. It's always both. At this point, it's true. Cyclical for these artists to be like, "Fuck this nigga Top, you're not trying to let me drop this shit."
And Top's like, "Okay."
Right, and then they delete the tweet, then they apologize, and the album comes back. They post a picture with this nigga, like, "Sorry, bro." Like, we literally see these niggas. I feel like the only person we haven't seen do it publicly is J-Rock.
Because J-Rock's not gonna play that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally everyone. SZA has done it. Ab-Soul has done it. Schoolboy has done it. Like all these niggas have gotten.
J-Rock's not about to do that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like even Kendrick, he won't talk about it, but he'll shade him in his bars.
Exactly. Kendrick will never do it out loud, but he'll do it in his raps. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I like so much about Reason in this album too. He was kind of shading these niggas. Like.
So yeah, what did you think of this album? What did you think of this Reason album? Because I have some thoughts.
Overall, flat out, I enjoyed it. I'm finding myself going back to it a lot. I think it's and I'm not going to sit here and say that I knew much about Reason. I don't think anybody really, this is his second project.
Yeah, who the fuck knows about Reason? Yeah, like.
But so I can't really say like I know this nigga, but I think I like this project, especially, only comparably to his last one. I think this one was like way more versatile. I appreciated the different like vibes, quote unquote, he had.
Showed a lot of growth.
It really just showed his growth and like kind of his reach. Like I can kind of do, and that's what I like so much about a lot of these younger TDE artists that are being signed, like Baby Keem and like Reason, is like I just feel like most of them, like Baby Keem is such like a hybrid of TDE, like certain artists in TDE. I feel the same way about like Reason. Like there are certain songs where it's just like so like ratchet, I want to shake my ass, Schoolboy, and then like something more where it's completely like reflective and conscious and whatever the fuck, and like. And even some that are his own. There were a couple songs though that really reminded me of Isaiah, which was interesting.
Yeah, they're definitely in the studio together. So here's my thing. I still don't know who Reason is after 2 albums, right? It is not a bad thing. It could be that he's still finding himself artistically.
Yeah.
It could be that he's like, maybe he's not he's intentionally not showing us who he is. I think I got a taste of a bunch of things that he could be. And it was cool to listen to. I think it was a solid album. I think, again, he did show growth and he did show versatility, but I still don't understand who he is. Like, when I listen to Schoolboy, I'm like, all right, I know as a rapper who you are because of, like, your music. Kendrick, same thing. Like, everyone else from TD, I know their identity as, like, a rapper. Not
even Baby Keem?
Well, Baby Keem only has, like, one or two projects out, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about, like established. Keem, to a certain extent, I think, too, right? Because Keem, at least, the thing about Keem, and we can do a whole episode on this, is emotionally, I know exactly who this guy is. No, seriously, this guy is like he's, I think, closer to like My Chemical Romance and Fall Out Boy in a lot of ways, and a lot of rappers. Like his stuff is very, very like punk rock mid 2000s in terms of his content. Like if you listen to the way he talks about relationships and the way he talks
It's
about stuff,
definitely emo.
yeah, it's like
Definitely gets you.
super emo, right?
Yeah, it
And it's just
is.
in rap form. It's
Mm-hmm.
in mumble rap form, and it's not a bad thing. It's actually super unique. But again, I know what Keem is. I listen to him
Right.
and I'm like, cool. I know what you are, and this is
Right.
good.
Yeah,
And
that's why I asked. I do
yeah,
think Baby Keem is more of a personality than Reason.
exactly.
But
And
I just think,
that's what I'm looking for. I don't
yeah,
know who Reason is.
yeah, I think he's still letting us get to know that. And I think it's because, like, to me, and that's more what I got from this album is I think he's more of like, or at least trying to reflect as like I'm more of a like I have more of a diverse personality, or like there's more layers to me than you would expect, like blah 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 blah. And that's what a lot of the shit I feel like he was talking about was like, yeah, I'm in TDE, but these niggas really don't get me. Like I'm still trying to figure out
And
who
that's
I
what
am.
I heard
I
too.
think these niggas to understand who I am.
But
Like
that's exactly what I heard too, Bria. Is like what I'm trying to say is like, yeah, you saying people don't. He's told me that I don't know him, right? And
a lot.
he's told everyone in TD that they don't know him. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Tell us who you are in your music because I'd love to know. And again,
Mm-hmm.
it's not bad music. Of course, it's great music because it's
Mm-hmm.
TDE, great features. Reason's obviously a very competent rapper. Like, there's no knock on him there. But I
Mm-hmm.
still don't know who he is. Like, I know who everybody in Griselda is as a rapper. You know, I know, like, that's one of the key things about being a rapper in 2020 is like people love you because they think they know you.
Right. You gotta have a shtick, and if you
Yeah.
don't got a fucking shtick, yeah, niggas
Yeah.
aren't gonna connect to it.
Otherwise, you're generic rapper number 756 and you're going to fall. Now,
Right.
the thing is, I'm sure Reason's going to get us more and more there. I just thought I was going to get more of who Reason is, Reason's story, and understanding. And there were some points where I'm just like, oh, I really like this song because he's
Mm-hmm.
talking about himself. And when
Mm-hmm.
he's talking about himself, I'm like, all right, I understand the way you think. I understand why you rap like this. I understand why you have this feature. And I'm able to appreciate and enjoy the music more.
Mm.
So that was my not critique, but it was just like my impression of this album. It's like, all right, he said you don't know who I am, and I'm like, cool, you're right, I don't.
I feel that, but I don't think that was his intention. I think this was just another TDE likes to bait niggas and bait niggas and bait niggas. Like, you gonna fuck with me before I really give you a reason to fuck with me. Like,
That's
and
true.
that's and
They do
then I
that.
think that's what this is. That's what this is like, nah, fuck with me. And it's like, okay, no, I will. So now
Yeah.
it's like the next one is like, oh, okay, this guy, I like him. Like the last, it was great. And then the one before, it was great. Like, no, I'm here, I'm invested.
Yeah.
Like, and they do that for every TDE nigga. Every TDE nigga. It's like, niggas was on SZA's dick before we really knew what that bitch sounded like. Like,
Well, there are reasons for that.
I mean, facts, but I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
that's what it was. Like, we
Yeah.
knew SZA without even hearing the bleep. Like, we knew who that bitch was. We knew who that bitch was. That's why when the music came out and she was on her bleep shit, niggas like, she bad though. Like, it's cool. Fuck it. Like, yeah, we rocking with it. And like now, I do feel like she's more of a fully formed, developed artist. But
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's huge, right? From Child's Play to Control is big.
yeah,
big
like
difference.
what
Yeah.
niggas cannot knock her shit now. But like I like even her, and I watched SZA from like the beginning when her ass was like 300 pounds or whatever, and was posting on Instagram all the motherfucking time. Like I could tell, and it wasn't her. It was literally Top or whoever the fuck was in charge of her shit, because she was the most vocal as far as like, these niggas won't let me do fucking anything.
I did not like that Ty Dolla $ign song.
Hey, different. I don't either.
I'm about to say I don't like that song.
I don't like it.
I know people are
listened
going
to
crazy.
the whole song. I just again SZA, the love of
It's
SZA.
like SZA, but it's just like it's not a good song.
It's not. I listened to the whole song waiting for the song to start. Like
That's a great way to describe it. That's a great way to describe it. That little beat change at the end is great.
It's
like
great.
Whatever that is, I want more of that.
At the end, and like the whole song, I'm like literally not in my head. Like, this is a long ass intro. Fuck. And then the song goes off. I'm like,
so what happened, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, cause I remember on Twitter, everyone was so excited that I'm just like, all right, cool, let me listen to this. I'm like, yikes.
Yeah, and then I listened to the song, I was like, oh, this is terrible. And then I watched the video, like, all right, I'm gonna feel differently. And now I'm just like,
the video is better. I think the video is better.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, still want to fuck SZA, don't want to hear the song again.
Hey, you said it, not me. I feel the same way.
Like, period. So I'm like, all right, okay, cool, moving on. Moving the fuck on.
Yeah.
But I mean, and if anything, I was like, okay, if this is the vibe that she's going for, that I fuck with, like more like spooky ooh vibes. And I definitely feel like that's like her lane, like very cooing. So like I'm excited to hear more, but this song she definitely could have kept it.
I just want her to get back in her writing bag.
Yeah,
I
and
think
but
you're
then
right
this
with
seems
that.
like another like single throwaway. Like, here, you greedy bitches, don't forget that I'm here.
After she complained for a month to, like, hey, they won't let me release music. Let me
Okay,
release music. Let me,
literally.
and
And like,
then
and even I know her because I follow her on Instagram. All of her posts were like, "Thank you to the team." Like when she was like breaking down the music
yeah,
video, and I was like, "Girl, you really just went to a fucking broke down garage and recorded the shit. Like it really's not. It didn't take all of this, and
it wasn't that deep.
you
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? You could tell she really gave a fuck. So it's like, all right, bitch, you committed, and like that's cool. I respect the urgency to want to give niggas your shit, but also like I respect why niggas like Top are like reel these people in, because I feel like you feel your shit, you get so excited, you're like, yeah, these niggas need this, and like
you
sometimes
don't.
we don't.
You don't.
Sometimes we fucking don't. We didn't need Hit Different.
We
We
didn't need
didn't
it.
need
We,
Hit
we didn't.
Different.
We didn't need it at all.
And if
And
it was
also,
up
like,
to
if it
go
was
ahead.
outside, I think it would hit different. To be honest, no pun intended. Like dead ass, because it's like at least you have a place to play it, right? Like
Right.
we don't have a. This is what I was talking about. There is no setting at home where I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to Hit Different. But if I'm out, like if I'm out at the club and it comes on and like couple drinks in and there's a
Yeah, do
nice
your little
looking
two
nice
step.
looking somebody,
Yeah,
two
try
step.
to
It's
get
like
to
all of a sudden,
sway.
look at you, I'm dancing
Yeah.
with somebody all of a sudden, and all of a sudden Hit Different makes sense, right?
Right.
Like,
No, I
and that
completely
hasn't
feel
happened
that.
for me since 2016. Like, this is just referencing old Mayron. But like, the point is, like, the point is,
Oh
like,
Lord.
there is no place where you play the song. All right, we approached in an
Right.
hour. So, is there any other albums you want to talk
Okay.
about? You said
No.
Jaguar.
Oh, I do. I like Jaguar a lot. I just think it was a solid R&B album, and it upset me that I feel like most of the conversation around that album was, "Ain't this the bitch Kalani used to fuck?" And it's like, yes. Did
Yeah,
you listen to the album though? Like, it's good. Like, you know what I mean?
it
Like,
was very solid music. I'm like, I thought it was a good album.
but kind of from what you said, I listened to this whole album and was like, okay, this is great. I still don't know who this person is. That's
I
how
was gonna
I
say
feel. That's how
exactly.
I feel about Jaguar. 100%. I was like, okay, this bitch can write her ass off. She can sing. She has a really good tone. Even I don't feel like she really exercised her range as much as she should have in this album. And like
Right.
I listened to the whole thing. Like, okay, this is good vibes. I don't know who you are
I don't know who you are exactly.
at all, and it sucks. And I don't think this album taught any of us who you are, which is why the only takeaway people are getting from this is, "Ain't this the bitch they used to fuck Kalani?"
Right.
And that
Um,
sucks.
that is actually my thoughts exactly. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Manny Wells, who released a very, very
Yes.
solid album.
Yeah.
Shouts to Bria Soul as well. It's a solid album. I love when he gets with Wale. I think like that's like a cheat code for both of them, and I think they should keep doing that. I'm very excited to see where he takes it from here.
Me too.
Um, Shoutouts to Dinner Party because that's Commissar Washington, like Ninth Wonder, Terrence Martin, like all these amazing musical minds coming together to create music that I would actually play at a dinner party. And I'm when I buy a house, I'm gonna have a dinner party and I'm gonna play the album like that. And so I'm very happy that they released this. I think that's all I had. I really want to talk about. You have anything else? I have a couple quick SoundCloud shout outs I want to do at the end.
No, that's really. I mean, Gibeon's album. I mean, short project was cool, but it's
Yeah, I
4
don't know why
songs.
everyone's like so. Okay, I'm gonna stop because I feel like I sound like a hater this episode, our first episode back in a while.
What?
Because like
You don't get it?
maybe I just don't get British people. I don't like teapot rap, and maybe I just don't get British people. I thought it was cool. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, this is it. This is next. This is amazing.
No, not at all.
I feel
No.
so many things. I'm like, all right, this is a solid R&B album, and
No,
I appreciate it.
I just throw it on when I'm like done listening to all the hits that I want to listen to while I'm hitting my J, and I'm just trying to wrap up my J, and I'm like, all right, I don't know what else to play. Let me throw in this. Yeah, no, I feel that. I actually like his project that came out before that more than
I
this
do.
project
I do.
wholeheartedly. Yeah,
You're
like I kind of like The Beach itself, which is the first song of the last project, more than all of these 4 songs. But I mean, cool, solid. Just give me more of the things, please.
all
What are
right,
your
quick.
SoundCloud shout outs?
Yeah, quick before we go. 10 Toes Down, which is like a new hip hop collective, released the album probably 4 days ago. Really amazing stuff. Mike Lost Position is my favorite song off of that. Soulless, Things I Wish I Said But Didn't, featuring Mel. Great instrumental album to listen to while you're working. Is MFN Mello, who is part of Saba's Pivot Gang. He's released 2 EPs in 2020, and both have been incredibly solid.
Okay. I am surprised you didn't talk about what's his name's project. What's their project? Earthgate.
Oh, we have a whole episode on that. Do we want to talk about it here?
Oh no, if you already talked about it.
Yeah, so I released before this. There's a whole episode on Spillage Village.
You did, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Then yeah, I mean, yeah.
but I'll give a quick thing before we go, since people might be listening to this, and if you're this far in the podcast, you deserve it anyways. So Spillage Village released an amazing album. I think it's going to be a perfect album in a couple years, and I think it's definitely going to be a classic. It showed how good JID was as a rapper. It showed how amazing Earth Gang is at harmonizing. It showed why I will marry Mariba if she, is available at any given point in her life. Because God,
I love me some Mariba, dog.
That
her voice is
so perfect, angelic, and
like
the writing, everything about it. And so this
smooth.
album just takes those people, puts them together in just the right ways. Add some Jordan Bryant, add some Avatar Benji, add some 6 Lack, aka Black, add all the people that you want, just in the varying amounts, and flows through perfectly. I've heard people call it a folk album. I've heard people call it the best rap album of the year. I've heard people call it the best collab album in the past 5 years. All of it's true because it's just all of it's true because if you're looking for that kind of rap, if you're looking for that kind of blend of music, and you're looking for a variety of voices that embody what you would want to hear when the world ends, this is your album.
That is a great way to fucking sell it. My only issue with Earth Gang, usually when I hear them, and it's not my issue with Earth Gang, it's my personal issue, is every time I hear an Earth Gang song with a JID song, with JID on it, all I want to hear is JID. Anytime I hear anything, usually with JID on it, all I want to hear is JID.
He's too good at rapping.
He's too good. It pisses me off. It honestly pisses me off. Like, I hear other things. I'm like, I don't want to hear any of this fucking shit. I just want to hear JID. Any type of nigga just like to sing on the chorus or sing in the background or just hit a little woo and give you like 2-3 bars and step off. Stop it. Fucking stop it. I'm so over it. Like, if JID gave me more, I would be able to accept him in all these different spaces. But until he gives me more, like, I can't do it. I need more JID.
So in shape. Did you want to talk about Action Bronson? Because I know you really were hyped over that album.
Yeah, I haven't actually revisited it in a while. I thought we said we were going to stop. I mean,
I know, but then you brought it back to 2 weeks ago, and now we're here.
I mean, yeah, I really fuck with Action Bronson. To me, and I was talking about this a little bit on Twitter, like, to me, this was the most solid project I've heard from him in a long time. I've been disappointed by Action, at least his last.
Well, he became like a full-time chef or something. Right?
And I'm not even mad at that. It's just the music quality dropped, so just don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. Keep it. Like, until you're ready to give it to me, you know what I'm saying? Then polish that shit back up, and then, don't just drop it because, like, oh, it was a rapper, came in this name as a rapper, so I gotta remind these niggas that I'm a rapper. No, fuck that. Do your other shit. Fine, yeah. You was in the little Netflix show with Robert De Niro and shit. You got your own motherfucking TV show, your own endorsements. Like, living that, my nigga, especially because you fucking white. Who's telling you can't do this shit? Nobody. So do it. The fuck?
And like you contributed what you needed to the rap game already. Like,
you know what I mean?
No one's saying you shouldn't rap. We're just saying you've already done the thing. Now move on to better things if you want to move on to better things,
Period. Like, that's it. Because I miss these raps. I miss these food references. I miss this beat selection. Like, I miss all of it. I miss all of it. All
right, now we really gonna stop because it's 9:07.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna leave y'all and say listen to the 2 songs that Saba released probably 20 days ago. Mrs. Whoever and Something in the Water. They're amazing songs, and I'm a Saba stan. that's all I had. All right, peace and love. Thanks for listening. Bria, you got anything to say to them?
No, I was gonna say follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and miss you guys. We're back now.
All right, bet.
So,
Stop.